New narrative content for Elite Dangerous was deployed along with Update 13. But what does this mean for gameplay, and where is Elite Dangerous heading next? Well, it turns out there's a few hints that people have been picking up on since the update arrived, and we're going to take a look at all of that right now. But first, let's briefly touch on the subject of the update itself. So Update 13 was very much what Frontier considered to be a narrative update. We've seen how this all played out. There was a nice cinematic when the game opened. It saw the deployment, the launching, the firing rather, of the super weapon, the Proteus Wave. This was meant to finally once and for all eliminate the Thargoids, but it backfired, with the result of the star system becoming fully occupied by the Thargoids and any humans within the area being either killed or left in complete chaos. Now, if you've played the game, then you will have seen the outcome of all this. If not, perhaps you saw the video released yesterday. That is linked on screen and in the video description right now if you want to go and check it out. In short then, a bunch of nice locations, props and sceneries to be involved in. Of course, the Thargoids themselves are now very aggressive and will attack you and kill you on sight. Also, all Guardian weapons and Guardian equipment has been rendered completely useless within this star system. This is the first hint of the next lot of content we can perhaps expect to see. Arguably then, the Guardian-based weapons or Guardian-based modules were some of the best equipment that you could actually obtain within Elite Dangerous. Whilst this all remains fully functional within every area of the galaxy, there is one area it's now completely useless. This is the HIP 22460 star system. Now, over the coming weeks, it seems very likely that the aggressive Thargoids within that star system will start to spread to other star systems. Pure speculations, of course, but seems very, very likely. Of more significance is perhaps the question of just how far Frontier are willing to push this. Will they go into inhabited systems and basically make them a danger to go in? Many players, of course, have player-made factions as well as star systems they've spent months, if not years, obtaining. If Frontier were to completely wipe that progress out and replace it with Thargoid occupation, it may be a bit of a problem for some people. On the other hand, if the Thargoids did start an occupation of human space, well, it'd be pretty epic and a really nice move. Obviously, people are going to have very different opinions on this. It also raises another question, which is, of course, the console question. Right now, whilst console players and Horizon players can see the opening cinematic when they launch the game, nothing in the game has actually changed. If those players go to the HIP 22460 star system, they will find nothing there beyond what was always there previously. All the assets, all the aggressive Thargoids can only be found if you're playing in Odyssey. It's also important to keep in mind that within the next few weeks, Frontier will be upgrading all Horizons players to Horizons 4.0. This will use the Odyssey code, meaning that both the Horizons 4.0 players as well as Odyssey players will then be in sync and be able to see all the new story-based content. There's also the point of console transfers, which will allow console players to transfer their save to a PC account if they actually have a PC. For now though, there still remains a pretty strong and heavy divide between players who can see this content and players who can't see it. Either way, it seems very likely, as I said, that these new aggressive Thargoids will start to spread outside of this particular star system. We also know that when these Thargoids are about, Guardian technology becomes useless. Whilst I do believe these Guardian weapons are still okay and effective against regular Thargoids, they're no good against the aggressive type. Whilst we can rely on regular human-based anti-Xeno weapons as well as the Salvation-based anti-Xeno weapons, well, something better is probably going to be needed. It means then that very likely there's going to be a new grind for weapons opened up very, very soon. And there's hints towards that already. Players have found that if you go and take a Guardian relic to a Thargoid base, place it within the Thargoid machine and activate it, you'll see the regular aggressive response from that machine. However, what's new is that this will cause the Guardian relic to turn green. This will then be seen as an unrecognized relic. If you take this back to your ship, put it in the cargo hold, you'll receive a message from the engineer Ramtar. It will tell you this: "Commander, whatever that is in your hold, I implore you to bring it to me at once. I recognize Guardian markers in my sensor readings, but not in this configuration. Where did you find the relic? I simply must learn more. I'll prepare my workshop to receive your cargo at Phoenix Base. Oh, and apologies for scanning your ship uninvited. Standard procedure. Ramtar." Now, for those of you who've been playing Elite Dangerous for any length of time, you'll remember that this has happened before. Previously, Ramtar was very interested in Guardian relics and other Guardian items. You'd take them to him and he would use them to research new Guardian-based human technology. This is how all the Guardian weapons and Guardian modules originally came about. It's reasonable then to assume that this entire process is about to start again and that players will be faced with a new grind to unlock new types of Guardian weaponry that perhaps can take on these new aggressive Thargoids. How you feel about that will very much depend upon how you feel on weapon grinds. Personally, it's not my cup of tea, not something I enjoy, probably not something I will actually do. But there are a lot of people out there who are very excited at the prospect. Well, personally, I would have liked to have seen new types of missions to take on, which, heck, who knows, that may eventually happen. But it's only fair to point out that the resource gathering and the weapon and module grind is something that is well established in Elite Dangerous, so quite likely unreasonable to expect that to change. Either way, that seems almost definitely the direction the game is heading in for this next stages of the update. Of course, there are also hints towards other things. Listen to this particular sound. This is what can be heard at the end of the Salvation cinematic. It's very distinctly a Thargoid sound, but also of a type that we haven't yet so far heard. Likely then that a new Thargoid is on the way. Meanwhile, players have noticed that the behaviour of Thargoids in certain locations has changed. This particular video clip was captured by Redditor Crusader Chan, and in it you can see some rather unusual behaviour from the Thargoids. Incidentally, for the full video clip, do check out the Reddit thread which I've linked in the video description. It's well worth taking a look at. So here you can see on a surface site down on a planet, the Thargoids have arrived and they are collecting occupied human escape pods. This isn't new behaviour entirely for them. They've always had an interest in these particular objects, but on this occasion it's new that they are now collecting them from surface sites. Now, this is also backed up from the logs that can be obtained from the Bright Sentinel, the megaship that was destroyed in the now occupied Thargoid system. It says they are taking human bodies. So the question is, what do Thargoids want with humans? Well, the leading and prevailing theory at the moment is they may well be turning them into Thargoid-controlled human zombies. It seems somewhat ridiculous, right? It seems somewhat unlikely. Maybe not the case, but yes, it's also possible. And if it was possible, just maybe it will lead to zombie-focused combat in surface sites within Odyssey. Now, that could be interesting. I'm not sure where you stand on that particular one. Do let me know your thoughts on it in the comments section below. Is it crazy speculation, or totally unrealistic, or something that could well happen? And if it was to happen, what would be your feelings on it? Just so you know, on this, it's not really something I'd like to see. I'd like to see something far more Thargoid-centric. That is, taking on the Thargoids themselves directly within Thargoid-styled bases. So not the regular ground bases that we have right now, but Thargoid-focused bases that we can perhaps uncover and discover within the game at some point in the future. Now, we do know that the November update for Elite Dangerous is a major narrative update. Update 13 was not a major update, but the next one is, so hopefully there will be something significant coming along there. And yes, maybe Thargoid FPS-focused content, but again, we don't really know at the moment. At any rate, this is where things stand right now. There's some changes going on within the game, and likely some new weapons or new Thargoid modules on the way very soon, and possibly a bit of a task to actually go out there and obtain them. Also possible that a new Thargoid type is on the way, as well as further occupation of human territory by Thargoids, aggressive Thargoids at that. So all pretty interesting. Again, do let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments section below. What's your thoughts on Update 13? And what's your thoughts and speculation on the next direction Elite is heading in? As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.